Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's complete our program here. So we need to make an AJAX request here, and yeah, that's what we're doing here, so that we can get some kind of result. Now, in our previous video, we went to our controller, and this is what we added. So here, I just want to echo something so that we have some kind of result to show. This is from the controller, something like that. So if I echo that and get that as a result, then I know that things are working as intended. And then we go back to our admin view. This is the part we have here. Now at the bottom here, I want to add some script tags for JavaScript. Okay, good. So let's add a function here. Now, if what you're doing is complex, you may want to create an object instead of just a function. Then you put your functions in there. So let's try and create an object here. I'm just going to call it uploader. So we'll call it a constant. Uploader is equal to, so I put the equal sign on the wrong place, right? So it's supposed to be const like that, and then uploader, blah blah blah. So maybe we can call it slider uploader, something like this. I don't know. Or you can abbreviate it like SU or something. Okay, what I'll do is, let me just say slider or something like that. Okay, so in here, let's put functions. So let me call this one submit is equal to function, and then we put a comma. Now, like I've mentioned before, what we are actually doing here is making an object. Normally you would make an object like this. You would say const object is equal to, and then you put open and close braces like this. Don't forget that semicolon at the end. And then in here you put like a key value pair. So you put a key, and then you put full colon, and then you put your value. Now your value obviously has to be in quotes if it's a string, and then you put a comma. But you're able to actually put functions in here. For example, you can say b is equal to, and then you put a function in there instead, something like this, open and close brackets. And then you can actually put some code in there like so. So this is exactly what we are doing here, just that we display it a bit differently. But keep in mind, this is what we are doing. So we don't use semicolons in here, we use commas instead, because these are items inside an object. So here we'll have a submit a function, and then we will have display image function like that. Let's put an E there like that. Let's put another comma. What other function do we need? Because we need also the handle result. Handle result is equal to function. We'll expect some kind of text result like that. Don't forget these commas after each function. Okay, we can also have variables in here. For example, one called image added. Let's start with this one being false. All right. Okay, so that's just a variable. This is a function. Okay, cool. So we can submit. Let's also do validate. Okay, to validate our image, say function. We expect a file in here, and this one will have to return true or false depending on the situation. So let's return false first, like that. Okay, and then if everything goes well, we return true. Let's say let. So you use let when you want the variable to be aware of the scope that it's in. because if you use var like this, because there are three ways to declare a variable. You can say var, you can say let, you can also say const. Now const is good for something that is immutable. You can change values within, but the actual structure doesn't really change, like this object we've created here, to always have these functions and these variables in here, even though things may change within those variables, but the structure remains the same. So we call it a constant. And then we use var when we don't care about scope, because when I say var, this variable is attached to the window object, the entire window, so it can be accessed anywhere in the JavaScript. But when you say let, you're telling it this is just a temporal variable. I just want to use it within this function, so don't need to really keep it for long. So let's say let allowed is equal to, and then let's put these things here. So here we want to put images of type that we expect or accept. So I'm going to say image slash PNG, and then image slash WebP. So these are images we're going to accept. You can put GIF as well. That's just image slash GIF, but I haven't used the GIF in like, I don't know. Okay, so allowed equals, and then we want to compare this against this file that we have. So we'll say if allowed dot includes, we want to see if it includes file.type, because this file we're going to bring here will have properties, and one of those properties is type, and depending on the type of image it will be either of these. Okay, now we only care if it doesn't belong in there. So if allowed does not contain the type that we are supplying here, then we're going to say, oh, this is not cool. So we return false in that instance. Okay, so return false. Wait, if let's put if allowed like this. Something like this. Okay, so we'll say image added is equal to true, because we've added an image, and then return true. Here if we return false at the end, and then we should make sure that image added is equal to false, but of course return should come last. So let's do this. I don't know. Image added is equal to false. True. I feel like I should have started with the negative values here. So anyway, for as long as it works, it's good. Okay, so we validate that, and wait, display images here, right? Yeah, this thing should just validate. It shouldn't tell us what's what. So let me remove this image added here. It should just do an evaluation, and that should be it. So let me remove these square brackets, because then we don't need them since we only have one statement in here. Okay, so that's what we're checking for, is the file type over here, which is great. So in here, when we say display image, we will be given the file. Will we? No. Okay, the E thingy is good here. So I'm going to say if validate. Now I'm talking about this validate function here. Now this function is within an object called slider, so I should mention that to say slider.validate, and then since it's a function, we'll open and close those, and then we'll check for the event here. This event will be triggered when we change an image in there. So we expect event.current target, which is the thing that caused the event. So we're going to add an event here. Bear with me for a second. Whenever we'll put a file input here, that's one thing I forgot. Whenever that file input changes, whenever you change the contents of it, this function will be triggered. So the event will come with it. So event.currentTarget will target the whichever input you have added an image in. So that input will contain a property called files, because that's where the files live, and you just want the very first file because it's an array, so you get the very first one. And if that returns true, because then we're triggering this function here, which means this is a valid image, right? So if that returned true, then we can say, we can do some stuff here, right? Okay, so let's negate this. Let's just do not like that, so that if it isn't, then we can return here. We can return false like that. And then we also need to alert the user and say something like, you know what, let me grab this. Oops. Let me put it here instead. Now I don't need to use let over here, so I can just say image allowed, or allowed is equal to, like that, and then instead of semicolon we put a comma here. Okay, so these are the allowed items, and since now they're in the main slider, so we'll say slider dot allowed to access that. Okay, very cool. Now the reason I've put it here is so that I can add it to my message here, so I can say only files of type, of this type, allowed. And what are those files? Let's concatenate this to slider.allowed. Now this is an array. We can't actually just alert this array. We have to convert it to a string. So I'm going to say dot toString, like that. Now when we convert to a string, it's just going to collapse everything into a string here. But I don't want these image slash parts. I just want it to show JPEG, PNG, and WebP. So tell it to replace all of these in that returned string. So I'm going to say dot replace all, and in there we're going to replace image. Now we need to tell it what to replace with, so empty string like that. Okay, great. Then we return false. So if it's not part of that, only files of allowed, and then we change the image added to false. Now since image added is in the slider, we have to indicate that. Say slider dot image added is equal to false. Otherwise, this should be equal to true, like this. So once the image is added, we are good to go. Right then, now that the image is added, we have to check for that image over here, alright, when we do the submission. So let's not forget to add our input. So on every image here, I'm going to add a hidden input. Now the way I want things to be, let me put an input of type file over here, just like that. So I've put this on the slider 4. So let's go to slider 4. And you will see there's a browse here, and if I click on that, it opens this thing where I can load images. But what I want is to click on the image itself to open this browse thingy. Alright? So to do that, what I will do is wrap these two guys inside a label. Now I'm doing that because when you wrap something inside a label, when you click, it's like clicking everything in that label. So if I click even on the image, it's as good as I've clicked this input here, because they are all bundled together. That's what I like about labels. So if I now click on this guy, it actually does this, which means I don't need to see the browse thingy here. So what I could do, name here is image, I guess. And what I could do here is put a style and say display none. That way I don't see the file input. So let me refresh. Now if I click on that, it still opens this up. But it seems I have lost my... Oh, now the reason the width 100% is lost is because label has a display of inline block. So let's change that. So we're going to do style and say display, then we'll say inline. No, not inline block, let's just say block, so it covers the entire width of wherever it's been given. That way we get back to normal. Then I want this to be a hand kind of thing, so what I'll do is I'll say, I can do it here and say cursor pointer, like that. That way it turns to a hand when I hover on this, and I can click, then I can add an image over here, right? Now, how do we display the image? Now, before we do that, let me just replace, before I replace that, let me say on change, which means whenever a new image is added here, we're going to call the slider dot display image function like that, and then we put our event over here, which is cool. Now, since we have this event here, we can actually use the event to grab the parent of this thing that has initiated the event. So I can say this item dot parent, which is this one, and then say inside the parent query for an image tag, and then whatever image I've added here, put it there as the source. So let's see how that can be done. Now, I can easily just copy these guys here and paste them wherever there is this image. So I've just pressed Ctrl D to select all instances of that, use the tab key and paste. What have I done? What have I done? No, that doesn't look like something I wanted to do at all. So what I'll do is copy this. Let me just do it manually. I'll do that and paste one by one. Right, so I'll go here. Alright, cool. And let's do this on the second one. Boom. Let's keep going. Alright. And finally on this one. Boom. And let's go. Cool. And now I want the images to be displayable there. That's one thing I forgot. So when we get here, image added is true, but we also need to display that image. So I'm going to do this. I'll say e.currentTarget, right, which is the thing that caused the event, dot parent node, that's how you grab the parent, dot query selector in that parent node. So within that parent node, let's search for any image tag, and then dot source for that result should be equal to, so we want to change the source to the file. So where do we get the file? e.currentTarget is the thing that caused the event, and that's the thing that contains the file. So we'll say e.target.files0, like that, is the file. Now we can't just grab that file blob and put it as a source to an image tag. We have to convert it to a local resource or something. Now you can do that using url.create object URL, like this. So there's a function in JavaScript that does this very thing. So once we do that, what this actually does is it creates a local resource and gives you the URL to that local resource of the image that you've selected, and you can use that as a source in the image tag. Hopefully that that works. So I'm gonna click on this and just open an image, and look at that. Very cool. So same thing can be done over here in any one of these, and it will work as intended. Very cool. Alright guys, so I'll see you in the next video where we actually submit this content.